Yeah, sure, I realise that there's a whole, like, international war raging and we may be on the verge of a nuclear apocalypse, but I thought we'd take a step back from that today and we'll have a look at a smaller, lesser known war, a dirtier war that people don't know all the details of. So this is the war for anti-comicsgate.
Hi, my name's Liam Gray and I'm the series director of Conquest Comics.
Liam Gray, the founder of Conquest Comics and the creator of Xenotype, the self-proclaimed orange tyrant, purposefully and deliberately deplatformed rival comic book creator Jon Del Arroz, also known as JDA, also known as Jon of the Rice, also known as Leading Hispanic, also previously known as comic writer Pro Secrets, also one-time diversity in comics, also known as Cosmic Warrior, and also known as Spider Derp. A quick shout out to Mr. Dongs and Smug Freezer and everyone else over at Kiwi Farms. I couldn't have put this video together without you. This is absolutely fucking outrageous and I do not endorse or support this kind of thing. I think it's morally reprehensible and I stand by this tweet. And if you too think that this is disgusting behaviour, remember to leave a like on the video. But you, Liam Gray, have put me in a position where I sympathised with Jon Del Arroz. You forced me to feel something against my will, like the manipulative music in TV talent shows. When Forced Adversity copy struck my channel, I was just like, come on man, that's against the rules. Copyright striking and false flagging, it's just wrong, regardless of who it is and what team they're on. It's disgraceful behaviour. And when I say, we don't do that, and then you go on to do that, you make me a liar, again, against my will. Liam has demonstrated this kind of behaviour on numerous occasions, striking the YouTube channels of his enemies, including, but not limited, to the Incel brothers, Mike S. Miller, Nasser Rabadi, and the now IRL DED, testefy-hd. It's possible, and damn even probable, that this very video will be copyright struck too, and at the time of recording, he still follows me, but I know that he watches everything that he's involved in, so I guess we'll see how that unfolds. So the two of them agree to appear on a live stream hosted by Tug, that umbrella guy, the creator of the Littlest Umbrella Girl, which you can go and back now on IndieGoGo. He hosts both of these chuckleheads on his channel, broadcasting them to a whopping 149,000 subscribers or whatever. Very impressive. Remember to subscribe to my tiny little channel too while you're here, please. Thank you. So live Liam versus JDA head to head. How exciting! Like, let's watch.
How did the stuff with JDA? How did this start, and where are we now? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, it started with Jon believing that he could make money off attacking me when he paired up with testefy-hd Randall Hegg and Pangea after he was expelled from anti-comicsgate and he ran afoul of Vickyverse.
Okay, so Liam is notoriously full of shit.
My name is Liam Gray. I come from a situation that is almost guaranteed worse than anyone that you have probably ever met in your life. My entire body's covered in cigarette burns and scars. I was severely beaten. I was put through foster home. I was a dead-end punk my whole life. I was told I was good at nothing. The only thing I could do is take a punch and throw one. I was a piece of shit.
He once told me in a voice chat that he was in a DM group with Akira Toriyama and that Xenotype was gonna be serialized in Shonen Jump. Yeah, okay mate, cool story bro. I believe maybe like 5% of what he says at most, and that's being generous. I do believe that he has some kind of physical issue with his actual brain, like that Phineas Fogg dude or whatever. I mean, based on his behaviours that we've witnessed over the last 18 months, 2 years or whatever, I don't think it's outside the realms of possibilities that he could have had a brain aneurysm or his brain tore in half or whatever the fuck it was that he said. Maybe both, probably neither.
Liam,
Where do we start? Where do we start? Do we start like, what, 2 years ago, a year ago? Well, how long back do we go?
But that is an interesting question, and one that we're going to look at. When did all of this begin? And with the answer, respected comic book journalist Jon Del Arroz.
Jon Del Arroz here, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, with some shock news this morning. Comic creator Preston Poulter has trademarked ComicsGate.
The federal government has recognized that I, Preston Poulter, DBA Pocket Jacks Comics, through my corporation Common Sense Press Incorporated, have been granted the trademark of ComicsGate in regards to comic books.
That's right, ComicsGate was trademarked by retired porn star cum comic book publisher Preston Poulter, a man with a huge hate boner for Ethan Van Sciver, so big it's matched only in its size by the one worn by his ex-wife. And after his whole revenge porn case was shut down, this was his next big harebrained scheme to just try and trigger as many people as possible for views. And it almost worked.
I have also applied for a certification trademark, meaning I will be able to certify who gets to call their comic books ComicsGate. And those that I deem worthy will get this logo to put on their books, and that way you know it's certified ComicsGate. Hence, no one else can use that term in association with comic books from this day forward. And yes, we know who I'm talking about.
I love how smug Preston is here. It's easy to see why as well. His trademarking of ComicsGate earned him big headlines and spots on shows with George Alexopoulos and Forced Adversity and others. Just some guy blew up a couple of videos in his direction. Like, Preston had never been this popular before, and people started flocking to him. All kinds of schemes and scams.
Only the people that are thinking about schemes and scams are worrying about schemes and scams.
All kinds of schemes and scams were being cooked up in Preston's Circle of Doom, featuring all the names that you associate with anti-CG, like a real smorgasbord of people like Doug TenNapel and Vicky Verse and The Comic Book Hut and Captain Cummings and Bean from Par, obviously she's there, and Cheyenne and PC Principal Mecha McCheese and DA Talks, and even the world's #1 Dean Cain fan, Mike S. Miller. Oh yeah, and of course, Jon Del Arroz.
Oh, hello everyone, in particular hello to Vicky Verse, our moderator for this evening. I am joined by the two comic book creators who have decided to become certified ComicsGate. So we have Jon Del Arroz with his project RoboToad Rekt Manlet, currently on IndieGoGo. There's a link for that down in the description of this video, and I have already backed it. And I hope Vicky has also backed it, because the two main characters of RoboToad are named Preston and Vicky.
Because the two main characters of RoboToad are named Preston and Vicky.
RoboToad Rekt Manlet is a 22-page parody comic book that is neither a parody nor is it much of a comic book. It's a troll campaign purely designed to piggyback off the popularity of Cyberfrog and Ethan Van Sciver. It's in no way a parody, it makes no reference to the original, nor does it spoof any of its elements, and on top of that, it's not even funny. It's a horror comic with a mechanical amphibian, and it bears no resemblance to Cyberfrog in any other way, apart from the fonts. The campaign itself is clean and concise, I guess, which is a nice way of saying it's one of the most basic bitch campaigns I've ever seen. 2 interior pages and a cover, and a PNG of a fucking bubble mailer. I hate it when campaigns do this and they have no images on their tiers. I mean, come on, what does that say? Like, how much do you care about the project? Probably not at all. What else are you gonna skimp out on? Like, no inside cover. Oh, okay, cool. They even had a Miss Sashi variant cover who, despite working with your boy Zach, is a known enemy of ComicsGate for reasons that I've never actually seen any receipts for, but whatever. Gobblegate.
What the hell is gobblegate?
So gobblegate, what the fuck? Okay, gobblegate was a big meme thing. That might explain a lot. Yeah. Okay. So gobblegate was a big meme thing that War Campaign did back in the day, back around Thanksgiving, you know. And they they do it every year. Hold on, I just gotta laugh for a bit. Hold on. Sorry. It's one of their better memes. They have like turkeys and then they Photoshop her face onto them. And it was a whole thing. Mike says Sasha's
face on turkeys.
because she has a turkey neck.
Oh, that's terrible.
And
That's terrible. Oh no.
Thing was designed to be as triggering as possible, to trigger Ethan Van Sciver into some kind of reaction, to be milked. And say what you will about EVS, but he ain't no lolcow. He's a fucking lol cowboy and a smart guy who reacted in exactly the correct way. What you do is you pat JDA on the head, you say that's nice, and laugh all the way to the bank with your $1 million book. And if you are some kind of sadist and you're looking at this and you're gutted that you missed out on RoboToad on IndieGoGo for $10 then good news, you can still pick it up from Walmart for less than the backers paid, which is cool. I wonder if those ones from Walmart still have the ComicsGate trademark logo on the back.
Wow. Certified ComicsGate. It's not just ComicsGate, it's certified ComicsGate.
Then we got Christopher, the designer of the ComicsGate certified trademark.
This is where it becomes undeniably a troll. I mean, when it's time to come up with an epic logo for this new ComicsGate trademark, they turn to Chris Tamulovich, whatever, a man most famous for sticking an anthropomorphized piece of shit with a urethra for a face into a Superman fancy dress costume. And again, I'll let JDA explain the deep meanings behind this seal of approval that's supposed to represent this new and improved ComicsGate.
Just beautiful lettering there that really pops. Beautiful art of a very happy woman to receive her comic.
That's not just any happy woman. That's another known adversary of ComicsGate, Remphamus, pictured here destroying the mailbox of that umbrella guy. That's shots fired in the direction of that umbrella guy. The same that umbrella guy, kind enough to host the debate between Liam and JDA that inspired this whole video.
She's so happy that she is breaking a mailbox because she doesn't need the mailbox anymore, because she already pulled her comic book out of the mailbox because it was already delivered on time.
Late books.
Beautiful rainbow leggings, because the rainbow is obviously God's promise to the world that he will never flood the world again, and it's his covenant with us that we are his people.
Nah, it's a gay LGBT thing. JDA uncomfortable with that, plays instead to the Pride is a Sin, God Squad, Christian anti-comicsgate as one of the many factions inside anti-CG, now rebranded as ComicsGate TM. Christianity, of course, being one of the intersectionalities that JDA, like other SJWs, will use as a shield. That and his Hispanic heritage. Nothing seems to trigger JDA as hard as the suggestion that he's a homosexual or some kind of degenerate deviant. But there's nothing gay about skipping through a field holding hands with your best buddies Preston Porter and Vicky Verse plotting the downfall of ComicsGate. I realise I'm giving JDA a lot of shit here, but I mean, it's not like the whole ComicsGate trademark thing was his idea.
This was figured out a while back. I actually figured this out a few months ago, and I looked into trademarking ComicsGate.
I don't actually think that JDA is responsible for the ComicsGate trademark. I think here he's just taking credit for someone else's idea, much like the times when he's claimed that he was the founder of ComicsGate.
Now this gets really interesting and really tricky, because Ethan Van Sciver and his crew of just comic haters have gone around, and I think we should just call them Comics Hate from now on, because these guys have made their entire careers and their entire YouTube channels on hating other comic books, on saying that comic books are terrible, these people are doing it bad, give us money. And so they really are just comics hate. So it makes more sense that Preston actually has it, and these guys do not have the trademark on it.
I mean, what happened to JDA? He was a vocal critic of CG and EVS, slumming around in anti-CG, spreading all this bullshit propaganda against us, parroting the talking points and the bigoteering that you'd hear from the likes of Nerdette's newsstand. What changed? Did he really believe all this shit at the time? Or was he lying? Was he lying then and is telling the truth now? Or was he telling the truth now and lying then? I'd wager lying both times, maybe. Maybe it's a redemption arc, I doubt it. But despite how JDA might react to this video, if he cries that I'm trying to cancel him for his intersectionalities, I'm not trying to cancel him at all. I'm actually happy that he's flip-flopped his way back over to our team, because it means he's not out there spreading shit like this.
It's been 2+ years of these guys going around just saying indie creators are bad, Marvel creators are bad, DC creators are bad. Every comic creator under the sun is bad except for them. And that's just their marketing ploy. It's been their game. It's been how they rally people up. They get people outraged with clickbait, and then they push their products. And that's it's really been a sad thing to watch, because they can't stand on the merit of their own books.
Because comics, I always tell people, it's like, if you're trying to make a badass frog and he's going to save the world, it's going to be badass and dark, and it's a frog. I mean, that's a pretty stupid concept, and nobody's going to be able to take that seriously. You have to have the concept match the tone of the book, and the concept of a robotic toad by itself is ridiculous. Yeah. And so I wanted to make it a little more ridiculous than some other people who do robot amphibians. I was reviewing, of course, Cyberfrog, the Blood Honey, which is a book basically of just a bunch of digital pinups like strung together, and then like 3 pages of story at the end. Is what happened. I was like, this is like really like just kind of sad.
Oh, wait. Yeah. SJW Captain America wants to know, will RoboToad be teaming up with that Parasol Boomer, Yellow Blink, and Women of White Blink?
That Parasol Boomer, again, shots fired. You might, at this point, be thinking, Commie Mark, I love your content, and I've liked and subscribed and rang the bell and told all my friends to subscribe to you and everything, but what the fuck does any of this have to do with Liam deplatforming Jon Del Arroz? And to that, I say, it's a long fucking story, bro. With a lot of context, a story too long to sum up in one YouTube algorithm friendly sized video. And instead of doing a whole 1 hour version explaining the sequence of events from the ComicsGate trademark to JDA losing his IndieGoGo account and why that's bad for everyone, a video that's likely to be struck down anyway, I figure I'll break it up so I can get more views and interactions and shit, and you get to see more of my yellow monetized adverts before the videos start, because YouTube always yellow ads me, bro. Which is why the best way to support the channel is by bagging a YouTube membership, or dropping a super chat, or buying one of my books, or a sweatshop t-shirt or something. Anti-CG were in a really strong position. They had the trademark, they had 2 books on the way out, and more things to come, more things in the pipeline, more gay opera going on in the Discord. So how did we get from this?
People have questioned my motivation in going after this trademark, and yeah, I'm perfectly upfront with it. Like, yeah, I'm just a petty, vengeful bastard. So I don't, I'm doing this as a complete troll, and I intend to ruin some people's lives over it.
To this.
I also happen to know I am flat fucking broke and can't afford an attorney. I literally am a full-time fucking volunteer. I have no income.
And this.
You're a piece of shit, Jon Del Arroz. You're going to get your fucking day. I'll tell you, I'll give you 1 hour.
Tug, this is nuts.
Yeah, this is nuts. No, this is nuts. You want nuts? This is fucking nuts. You want out.
These nuts.
And like, you want me to write you a fucking letter?
Yes.
Fight me, John.
Fight you?
Set up in a ring.
I'm sorry.
Here you go. Yeah,
Liam, I'm not gonna look at his dance.
So if you want to know how this is all interconnected, if you want to know how anti-CG fucked themselves so badly and how this relates to Liam Gray versus JDA, then help me push this video to 1,000 views and I'll give you the next piece of the puzzle. I'll tell you all about how I snuck in undercover into Preston's Gay Op Discord and the beginnings of War Campaign 2.0, the so-called Preston Nights, in part 2. Alright, that's the end for now. I hope you learned something. Fuck off.